The Śūraṅgama Sutra, Volume 2, 75. And said to Ananda, although you have a keen memory, it only benefits your extensive learning. But your mind has not yet understood the subtle, secret contemplation and illumination of shamatha. Listen attentively now as I explain it for you in detail, and cause all those of the future who have outflows to obtain the fruition of Bodhi. Ananda, all living beings turn in the cycle of rebirth in this world because of two upside-down, discriminating, false views. Wherever these views arise, they cause one to revolve through the cycle in accord with their corresponding karma. What are the two views? The first consists of the false view based on living beings' individual karma. The second consists of the false view based on living beings' collective karma. What is meant by false views based on individual karma? Ananda, take for example someone who has cataracts on his eyes, so that at night he alone sees around the lamp a circular reflection composed of layers of 5 colors. What do you think? Are the colors that compose the circle of light that appears around the lamp at night created by the lamp, or are they created by the seeing? Ananda, if the colors were created by the lamp, why is it that someone without the disease does not see the same thing, and only the one who is diseased sees the circular reflection? If the colors were created by the seeing, then the seeing would have already become colored. What then should the circular reflection that the diseased person sees to be called? Moreover, Ananda, if the circular reflection were a thing in itself, apart from the lamp, then it should be seen around the folding screen, the curtain, the table, and the mats. On the other hand, if it had nothing to do with the seeing, the eyes should not see it. So why does the man with cataracts see the circular reflections with his eyes? Therefore you should know that in fact the colors originate from the lamp, and the disease of the seeing brings about the reflection. Both the circular reflection and the faulty seeing are the result of the cataract, but that which sees the diseased film is not sick. Thus you should not say that the cause is the lamp or the seeing, or neither the lamp nor the seeing. Consider the example of which is neither substantial nor a reflection. This is because the double image of the moon is merely a result of applying pressure on the eyeball. Hence, a wise person would not try to argue that the second moon either has or doesn't have a form, or that it is apart from the seeing or not apart from the seeing. The same is true in this case. The illusion is created by the diseased eyes. You cannot say it originates from the lamp or from the seeing. Even less can it be said not to originate from the lamp or the seeing. What is meant by the false view of the collective karma? Ananda, in Jambudvipa, besides the waters of the great seas, there is level land that forms some 3,000 continents. East and west, throughout the entire expanse of the great continent, there are 2,300 large countries. In the other, smaller continents in the seas, there may be 200 or 300 countries, or perhaps 1 or 2, or perhaps 30, 40, or 50. Ananda, suppose that among them there is one small continent where there are only 2 countries. The people of just one of the countries collectively experience evil conditions. On that small continent, all the people of that country see all kinds of inauspicious omens. Perhaps they see 2 suns, perhaps they see 2 moons, perhaps they see the moon with circles of, or a dark haze, or girdle ornaments around them, white vapor around it or half around it, or comets with long rays or comets with short rays, moving or flying stars, shooting stars, ears on the sun or moon, evil haze above the sun, or evil haze besides the sun, morning rainbows, secondary evening rainbows, and various other evil signs. Only the people in that country see them. The beings in the other country never do see or hear anything unusual. Ananda, I will now summarize and compare these two cases for you to make both of them clear. Ananda, let us examine the case of the being's false view involving individual karma. He saw the appearance of a circular reflection around the lamp. Although this appearance seemed to be real, in the end what was seen came about because of the cataracts on his eyes. The cataracts are the result of the weariness of the seeing, rather than the products of form. However, what perceives the cataracts is free from all defects. By the same token, you now use your eyes to look at the mountains, the rivers, the countries, and all the living beings. And they are all brought about by the disease of your seeing, contracted since time without beginning. Seeing and the conditions of seeing seem to reveal what is before you. Originally, our enlightenment is bright. The cataracts influence the seeing and its conditions, so that what is perceived by the seeing is affected by the cataracts. But no cataract affects the perception and the conditions of our fundamentally enlightened bright mind. The perception that perceives the cataracts is a perception not affected by the cataracts. That is the true perception of seeing. Why name it other things like awareness, hearing, knowing, and seeing? Therefore you now see me and yourself and the world and all the 10 kinds of living beings because of a disease in the seeing. What perceives the disease is not diseased. The nature of true essential seeing has no disease. Therefore it is not called seeing. Ananda, let us compare the false views of those living beings' collective karma with the false views of the individual karma of one person. The individual person with the diseased eyes can be likened to the people of that one country. He sees circular reflections, erroneously brought about by a disease of the seeing. The beings with a collective share see inauspicious things. In the midst of their karma of identical views arise pestilence and evils. Both are produced from a beginningless falsity of seeing. It is the same in the 3,000 continents of Jambudvipa. Throughout the 4 great seas and the Saha world, and on through the 10 directions, all countries that have outflows, and all living beings, are the enlightened, bright, wonderful mind without outflows. Seeing, hearing, awareness, and knowing are an illusory falseness brought about by the disease and its conditions. Mixing and uniting with that brings about a false birth. Mixing and uniting with that creates a false death. If you can leave far behind all conditions which mix and unite, as well as those which do not mix and unite, then you can also extinguish and cast out the causes of birth and death, and obtain perfect body, the nature of which is neither produced nor extinguished. That is the pure, clear, basic mind, the eternal, fundamental enlightenment.